sounds of a struggle and screams pierce through this Chicago suburb. This is Detective Parker reporting to the scene. We have a reported 1054 here. That's our police code for a dead body. The victim has been identified as 27-year-old Kenyatta Davis. Here behind me, we've got our dead body. She's wrapped here in a comforter in the living room, and she was left here. I see a little bit of blood here on her hand, though, so let's collect some evidence. It's likely her own, but it doesn't hurt to check. Yeah, there we go. All right, and then our suspect probably left some fingerprints on the way out, so let's head to the front door and see if we can dust for some prints. Leave that sample there. Get our equipment to dust here. Perfect. Got something coming up here. Bingo. Let's get some adhesive tape so we can lift this print. Perfect. After the evidence was collected from the scene, it was amplified for 2 different VNTR loci and run on separate gels in order to create DNA fingerprints for comparison. We will start with the first loci. Here we have the blood collected from the victim's hand, the fingerprint from the doorknob, and the DNA for 4 potential suspects. Both alleles must match an individual in order for them to still be in a running as the match. Starting with the blood, we see that if we move across the row from the first allele, the victim and suspect 3 are matches. But when we move across the row from the second allele, the victim and suspect 2 are a match. Since neither suspect was a match for both alleles, they are out of the running as matches for the first loci, making the victim the only match for this loci. Suspects 1 and 4 are also excluded as they have no alleles in common with the blood sample. For the fingerprint, we will follow the same process. Moving across the row from the first allele shows us that both suspects 1 and suspects 4 are matches. They are both still in the running as suspects. When we follow the same process of moving across the row for the second allele, we see that suspects 1, 3, and 4 are matches. Since suspect 3 wasn't a match for the first allele, only suspects 1 and 4 are in the running as suspects since they matched both alleles. We can also see that suspect 4 is the biological father of suspect 3 because they both share the bottom allele, but differ at the other allele since suspect 3 got that allele from his mother. We will follow the same process for the second loci. We will start again with the blood sample. Moving across the row from the first allele, we see that the victim is the only match. For the second allele, we see that the victim and suspect 4 are matches. Suspect 4 is eliminated since he only matches one of the 2 alleles. This shows that the victim is the match to the blood for both alleles and loci. For the fingerprint, when we move across the row from the first allele, we see that suspects 1, 2, and 3 are matches for this allele. For the second allele, only suspects 1 and 2 are matches. Since suspect 1 and 2 match both alleles, they are still both in the running as suspects. We can see that suspects 3 and 4 still share an allele, indicating their familial relationship. Since suspect 1 matches all alleles and loci, he is the murderer.